out in that last series that they played. It's great to have a rematch. It's a chance at redemption for Rogue here as well. They're hungry. They've already taken down Envy. Who can stop them now? Exactly. The confidence they would have gained from taking down Envious. Obviously, everyone was, including ourselves, was thinking, is this record of 57-0 ever going to be broken? And of course, Rogue coming through. I just saw them, they were brimming with confidence after that game. AKM wins, the brothers have been brilliant. Tavik went absolutely off. Reunited, we just saw Kip going crazy. We just heard from him in the interview. Oh, here we go.
We have to say that Reunited just played this map. They are fresh, they are ready to go, they are familiar with what they need to do here. This is right on their mind.
Let's get into it now as well. Valutaja, the first man to make his way towards the point. Mind this, Reunited didn't quite finish this map from their attacking side, although the defense was pretty darn crisp.
Absolutely, Valutaja really worked very well, but of course, remember, they only posted a distance against Fnatic. They couldn't even finish the map off in 9+ minutes. This time around, they're going to start challenging now. They need to get back on and contest this. They've already hit the first marker nearly. What is going on? Defend!
Yeah, AKM's trying to stay safe, but in the meantime, the rest of his team's copy. A fan the hammer at least to Winghaven, but Kip's there to shut him down. Reunited coming in with some serious aggression. Tavik can't even stop this one. The Reaper from that man is all but gone, and Reunited, that's a very quick first point take.
That looked so bad from Rogue. AKM, who we have constantly said was the most consistent person at this tournament, could barely hit a single Zarya as he hid for his life in a cafe. He had no presence in that fight whatsoever.
Hiding away, and that's honestly, you know what? I've seen a bit of play coming out of Reunited. I think I'd hide. I think I'd hide in that cafe and see as well. But the high ground not going to be defended by Rogue here. Instead, choosing to go low. Very interesting tactic here. I'm not too sure because you can see Reunited already looking to get a flank. They're going aggressive.
Yeah, they want to come forward on this one now. Tavik has to be careful. The Dragon Blade already coming out for Kip. He goes super low early on though and forced to block. That's valuable DPS seconds for him. Now going out the window. He gets on towards wins, but that was not what I'd call an overly impactful ult from Kip.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. They're going to push on through. AKM force them back, so they hold on for now. But this is a very splintered skirmish going on here. Neither team really holding on, and obviously these guys have faced each other a number of times. We're not going to the NA style. Everybody switched back to European style. I'm interested to see whether they're going to make some changes here.
Definitely they want to be up on the high ground. You can see AKM even right now looking up there to make sure that nobody's up there. Winston dropping down. All the ultimates coming out right now. No frags yet.
Now Earthshatter comes in, but AKM stays safe. One shot to the head. Kip is not enough. He gets the reflect on. It's a bit of a grudge match between these two as per usual, and Kip's able to stay alive now. Transcendence coming in over the fight, and Kip staying healthy.
Getting straight around the side there. Kip doing absolute work. Unfix picks himself up a couple of kills, and this payload is going uncontested so far. You can see Wins just jumping up and around with that primal rage, trying to delay things as much as they can. But look at this, they're already up to the saloon.
I don't think Rogue has gotten an engagement fight that they have won it at all. They weren't able to get the high ground. They were barely able to be in that cafe. Nothing has gone their way just yet, and already another fight.
Unfix wants to go in towards the back line here, but Tavik finds sport, finds his second sport. Valutaja goes down. Oh, it's all about the Dragon Blade. Tavik gets his fourth kill. Would have had himself a spray if he didn't have it already.
Kip going down in that fight with the Dragon Blade too, really not having any presence. We're just allowing Tavik to walk over them right now. And again, they're getting on top of this high ground over here. Rogue is finally going to have a chance here, and they've needed this.
Finally in position. It's took them a little while, but we are still seeing Reinforce down low. So he's choosing not to go up there, not to cover off the defensive position. You know what? The lift, he doesn't want to take that lift. It's too far to walk. He wants to sit around the side. And to be fair, obviously with the Winston up there with Wins and Tavik, it's probably enough to protect.
Massive hassle to wait for that one as well. They left a bit of RNG involved at times, but now Kip looking for his opposite number. This is a huge headlining match, but also AKM wants to definitely get himself onto the headlines, but Reinforce gets on towards Winghaven here as well. It's always people against their opposite numbers. That's a huge Earthshatter, and AKM follows up with some great damage. Mord is stunned up with nowhere to go, and Reunited get put in the body bag and sent back.
The order that they killed those players just happened to be perfect. Mort was laying on the ground with an ultimate. He wanted to stand up, he wanted to heal the rest of his team, but he was the final person. Poor Omnic getting a bullet to the head, and they're gonna have to come out here and try this one more time. What looks so strong just a second ago, they can't get through this phase.
At 2 minutes 30, they reach the saloon, and look how far the payload's backed up already as we pass the 4-minute mark. Suddenly, a real chance. They jump up on high. Unfix tries to get himself the beam in as Valutaja decides to teleport himself up unhindered. And now Reunited, they've taken back the high ground. Now, can they do anything with it? You can see even the Reinhardt's made his way up here with Winghaven. Down low, not working. Reinforce dominating that as they jump straight in.
Chance for Valutaja and Coda catch Rogue out here as well. They tentatively came forward, but Amount being pushed back in the fight. It's the Discord Orb there over on Reinforce. He still charges anyway. Kip heading for the hills right now. Something's forced him out of the fight here. Reinforce first to drop, then Cruz straight after. Tvink managing to get on towards that Lucio there. Unfix going with a Primal Rage. It almost looks like in slow motion here compared to the zippy people around him. But AKM getting 2 kills in that fight. Make it another assist is going to help Rogue hold on for now.
If you ask me, I don't think REUNITED ever had a chance in that fight. They had the Reaper up on the high ground, and they all just dived onto the card for absolutely no reason. He didn't try and flank, he didn't go for the back, he had a Death Blossom, he just dropped to the ground, and they had this weird fight where Kib was in the back in the jail with a sword out, and there were no criminals in there.
I mean, we've got to remember, like you say, they couldn't finish the map against Fnatic here, so clearly Hollywood is not the greatest maps for REUNITED at the moment. Rogue capitulated on that and managed to finally get themselves a solid defense. Deadeye getting ready to go. You can see it's pretty much covered out. Winghaven's shield gonna hold steady.
Yeah, Noc's hoping to knock Winghaven out of the way and allow AKM to get the Deadeye on, but now the fight continues. They're gonna come back on this one. Oh, REUNITED coming alive here. Chip gets on towards Unco, and there's only Tvink left. Rogue gets completely wiped. Talk about going from 0 to 100 in under a second.
That is absolutely what they needed there, time and time again. We were talking earlier, Vods was carrying so much for his team, but you just have a Reaper come in finally, get those kills. They're able to hold off this last choke. No, Winston gets in.
They've got the close spawn, so they managed to get around the side. You see Cruz backing away, Transcendence comes out, Kip goes looking for kills, trying to get himself one. Doesn't work out too well, but the rest of his team come in support. Unco goes down, AKM picked off. The payload marker will be reached, but it's still not a great time. We're at 6 minutes and counting here.
Yeah,
still
they definitely just wanted to stall there. The Winston, it was desperate. They had one last chance. It's all about time. 6 minutes. It's still a little bit slow. This is something they can compete with. This is something they can work with, but they still have a last chance to defend here.
3 minutes to get this last point here. REUNITED want to keep Rogue in disarray. They want to keep picking up these kills off the backside, bleeding them in and staggering out spawns. Valitaja did well to find Reinforce at such a late stage because he's only still spawning back in. But it looks like REUNITED are happy just to let this payload push. They don't want to push forward for any more fights.
Valitaja just looked to go to the high ground, hasn't got Death Blossom ready and waiting, but REUNITED certainly have themselves a stack of ultis charged up. Aggressive stuff coming out from Rogue here. They've got pretty deep there. Actually, the rest of the team weren't quite in position, which is why Kip's taken down AKM already. That was a mistake from Rogue.
Not good at all. Rogue have already lost 2 players, 2 crucial players, making 3 here. It's all going wrong. It's a nightmare for Rogue right now, and the pressure keeps getting worse. REUNITED now putting in the chokehold on. Kip and Valitaja now getting on the leaderboard, and that payload is getting very, very close. There'll be one last fight here over on this point, and Rogue need to put players out there very quick.
Absolute failure. Not only did they lose that fight, but REUNITED kept almost every single one of their ultimates. They have Mort, they have Zenyatta, they have the damage with Death Blossom. Winghaven's going to drop an Earth Shatter here. They have every single thing in their favor. There's no way they can lose this fight.
Well, we'll see. Earthshatter comes down, gets around the side. That worked perfectly, but instantly gets pinned. Kip comes through. Cruz gets himself a kill in the chart. Lucio on Lucio action there. Transcendence keeping them all safe. You can see Kip up on high. They just need to clear out that payload, though. So kill speed, it's not going that great, considering how much REUNITED had. Rogue of hell.
Yeah, Kim now just trying to keep himself alive for the moment. REUNITED had a great start to the fight, but Rogue able to push back in. The payload's still being contested, and Unco actually takes down Kim. That's a huge kill for the Zenyatta player. REUNITED, they've got to back off.
Valitaja never even had a chance to use that Death Blossom I mentioned. I bring that up because I wanted to give Rogue a chance. The Commentator's Curse coming into absolute full effect. This is going to be a final hold here. And a minute on the clock, they have to actually do this. And again, as we just saw, they were unable to finish this map before in just the same spot.
Absolutely. Valitaja, though, as you mentioned, is hanging on to that. So maybe he can get himself a flanking position. I'm looking for his X-ray. He's not up on high where I'd expect to see him right now, looking towards that ledge. Instead, he's being forced back, and it's actually Rogue that's going aggressive. But will this backfire? Primal Rage comes out from Wins. He tries to get in his face. Now you can see Reinforce a little too deep. We've said that too many times this tournament. You cannot afford to do that in the grand final. Valitaja goes in. Death Blossom's absolutely nothing as Wins finally gets taken down.
Yeah, it's more because most of Rogue weren't actually there. REUNITED already cleaned them out here. Again, overextensions from the defending side have hurt Rogue dearly. Now, the Earthshatter comes down. Valitaja knocked on his rear end. Keep going to come across the top here as well. 13 seconds remaining in this one. REUNITED are going to get right towards the end, but Rogue can still come back onto the payload.
It's been a slow kill feed, that's for sure, and that's why we're seeing spawn after spawn coming back. This is a potential defensive hold from Rogue here as they pick them off. The spawn run comes in, the Transcendence goes off. It's only cruising now. Unfix gets blasted away from the payload. They can try and keep this overtime ticking as long as possible, but Reinforce his hammer is doing work.
Both Reinhardt's of Earthshatter here as well. Going to be very, very important to turn the tide of this fight. Straight towards the air. There comes the Earthshatter. What does he get for it? The responsive Earthshatter is even nicer. It's only keeping Unfixed on this payload right now. They get cleaned up, and Rogue have held on. Woo.
Absolutely incredible hold there at the end when it didn't look like REUNITED would even be able to pull it off. Well, I guess they didn't. I guess they weren't.
Again, how much does this compound your mental state as well? REUNITED might be the first time, like, okay, we just played Hollywood in the last game. We didn't quite finish the map. Now, happening the second time, it's like, okay, guys, seriously, what's going on here?
REUNITED stepped up last time, for sure. They were able to hold on the first point, and that's a pretty big contention point here. It's definitely a point that can be held. It's much like Numbani, where getting in there can be quite difficult, but I think Rogue's style of being super aggressive is not even going to give them an opportunity. If Tavik can get out here on this Genji, get a Dragon Blade quickly, he's going to put an end to everything.
I mean, the biggest, obviously, bonus for REUNITED is why they didn't finish the map. Look at the golden circle. It's pretty much on there, isn't it? It's pretty much there. I mean, Rogue really do need to finish off the map here to win it out, but on the attack, let's see if they bring anything different. We just saw what REUNITED did. Obviously, they were up against Vods. I actually talked to Vods around the back, and obviously they were discussing. The whole point was they were going to beat down the shield of Winghaven and hook him out. However, REUNITED were very quick to adapt to that. Clearly, obviously, played against them a bunch of times. Everybody scattered and hit. Not a single person showed for them. That's what they were saying. We're trying to get picks. There was no picks to be had.
They did the same to him on Anubis as well. That was the big thing. Now, last time I actually watched Rogue on this map, they were a stubborn one. They were the team that wouldn't really adapt. They tried to play, I think they tried to play Roadhog themselves. Yeah. It was a Reinhardt-less attack. It was on a night where Rogue were trying all these weird things, and none of them were really working, and they lost 4 minutes of time trying to attack the first point. I expect to see Rogue have improved to the degree here where they just go with what works, get a fight. They know pound for pound, they're just as good, if not better than REUNITED. There's no point trying to go for any funny business here.
Yes, the team composition is not really showing anything either way. No one going for anything surprising. Tavik on the Genji, I think, again, is that edge that they're looking for. They're going to need that aggressive character to get in there. Everyone to follow up after him. You're going to see them trying to trade a little bit here. Gain ultimates before this big fight goes off. No one really able to find anything.
Let's see if they can find a pick. You can see they're trying to work that shield down. They go deep. That's aggressive stuff from Reinforce. We've said it a lot. Is it going to work out? Tavik takes a hell of a lot of damage. Winghaven almost down, but he's hanging on. Swinging for the fences. Kip gets picked up. He gets down to Tavik there. Kip going off once again. And it looks like this is a defensive hold already.
IKM spent most of the fight sitting in the back here. Kip just going to try and come in and make something happen, and Nox just walks across the front of him. He can't actually walk out on towards the point here because the positioning of IKM is so damn good. That's a good flash, but IKM will still fall here. REUNITED should be able to solidify.
Yeah, absolutely incredible hold. I think still what I'm saying here is that the Dragon Blade didn't come out. I don't think we saw a presence of Genji in that fight at all, and that's something that you need to see. That's someone definitely there that'll come in, mix things up. We're looking at Rogue coming in, probably waiting for this Lucio ult. They're going to have it soon. They're going to have the Zarya ult and really have a good fight here.
Okay, Reinforced looking to get a little peek around there, seeing if you can find anything. The shield is very much dropped here, so less than ideal. They've got a little flank around the side. Kip, Tavik, everybody trying to get themselves some work. Both these damage dealers back and forth have been really making it work. He's going to get around the side. Tavik gets around the back, manages to find himself a little chance on Mort there. It's not going to be enough. Mort gets the transcendence of instantly. Quick reaction speed, and Valutaja strikes.
That's right, Tavik going to fall down now as well. The fight continues over on the point here. Wins looking pretty good. Charged up quite nicely. Biceps flex it away, but it's going to be a sound barrier coming out here for Cruz. There's not many people here for REUNITED to actually benefit from this sound barrier at all. Wins just shoves him off the point with the palm of his hand and says, sorry, this is my house now. And the rest of Rogue sat pretty on this point. Valutaja, all he can really do is try and be cute and snipe from the top of this roof here, but it looks like Rogue have control.
That's unfortunate. That was quite painful to watch. I built up this Genji play so much. He spun around in circles. He swung at everything. He was stunned, but we actually have another fight breaking out here. They are able to contest the point, bringing Zenyatta out here, trying to hold for just the last second.
And they will finally get in there, of course. It's all about delay tactics now. The distance, the time doesn't really matter. They just have to finish it. But the longer you can hold, the longer you can keep them at bay. Already Rogue have stepped up over Fnatic. Obviously, we're seeing how it can work out. Now, the question is, can they close the map out? The Wild West section, we've seen so many teams fall here, Mitch.
Yeah, exactly. So, again, get up on those buildings. Try and use that vertical advantage that you can establish. Now, notice that REUNITED haven't actually made any attempt to do it. Some teams will wait to try and use the elevator to get up, but look at REUNITED. They've already pushed around this corner here. They're already starting off a bit of a fight. Valutaja and Kip getting involved straight away. They didn't give Rogue a chance to set up here. They want to catch him on the back foot. This kind of aggressive delay tactic is as good as any when you need to keep an enemy team at bay.
They really need to be gaining position right now. I don't know if they're super comfortable staying on the ground right here, holding this position. You should have the speed boost, get some somebody on top of the roof, but they're just staying here on the low ground. They're allowing those Genjis to get up top and take control of everything, but they're having to fight right at the choke here.
Deadeye coming through. Is the shield going to hold just about around the side, but it doesn't matter because Kib's already picked himself up the double. We saw Rogue doing an identical defensive position last time around. Unfortunately for them, it backfired straight away, and we saw REUNITED push on through, but this time REUNITED looking very solid. Still the Earthshatter ready for Winghaven.
And then REUNITED can nullify the high ground factor by pushing so far forward here, but Tvik wants to use that himself. Comes to the back. Oh, this is perfect. It's a cake. Whose birthday is it? It doesn't matter. Tvik's going to swing the blade no matter what. Still, the Transcendent's going to protect a lot of this, and Valitaja and Unfixed have actually managed to do so much damage. So Tvik, he's just a footnote, a little side note, an asterisk even on that fight. It didn't matter what damage the Genji did because REUNITED were getting it done themselves.
Tvik, usually the star player, I hate to keep coming back to this, but he needs to be playing at a level higher than this to start making a dent in REUNITED, who have come together and are showing such a strong force right now.
It's already been 1 minute 50 since that payload was captured. It's gone nowhere so far. Reinforce goes diving in and misses it. Instantly gets counterpinned by Winghaven. The Earthshatter comes through and Valitaja backs it up with a Deadeye. And Rogue, you are back in the spawn point once again.
It's definitely a different Rogue than we've seen before. REUNITED and Rogue went very even before, but this is starting to feel one-sided. Even though they have several fights coming after this, they're not even having ult advantages right now. They have Reinhardt looking at one ult, but REUNITED still feeling really good with that Zarya. Zarya is what is going to win them fights.
Yeah, I mean, Unfixed as well. He does have that Graviton Surge ready to go. It worked out pretty well earlier on. He's going to use it now. So, Rogue getting tucked together. Reinforce does have the Earthshatter. He opts not to use it in this case. He even tries to charge himself back out of the fight. The sound barrier, though, on REUNITED is more than they're going to require. Kid goes in the backside, gets two, and Valitaja also getting one as well.
I feel like we're repeating our words here, don't we?
It's the same kind of
Constantly,
fight.
Kib, Valitaja, Kib, Valitaja, Kib, Valitaja, backed up by everything, and it's just working so strong. We're now 2 minutes 50, and it's not moved.
It's the same push every time, too. We're seeing them at the door, knocking, not getting any response. They're not going around the side. They're not trying to do anything. Valitaja hiding around the corner, looking for the stun to start the fight off, but they collapse on top of him immediately.
Trying to get the cheeky flashbang, doesn't work out, and you can see Tvik instantly pulls out the Dragon Blade, gets himself a quick triple, make it a quadruple, and now the payload will eventually move. 1:33 on the clock. They can push it all the way to the spawn.
Give that man an inch and he will take a mile. Valitaja off to the side trying to be a bit sneaky, but of course, when you run around the corner as Winston, Wins just managed to get so much damage across, and then the finish off for AKM
Yeah,
was there.
certainly. Someone spotted him out, but again, this is what we need to see from Tvik. He needs to be getting those kills. He's one of the star DPSs on the team. If he's not getting it, no one will. Big Earthshatter comes down. He was looking for it for himself.
Reinforce managing to get some work done at last. AKM finally gets himself on the kill feed. That's exactly what they need. Valitaja, you're going nowhere, son. You're pinned against the wall by an angry Winston, and Wins will get himself the kill. This payload is making its way to the final point.
Momentum building up now as well. Unco picks up Kib, and look at it go. Finally, Rogue managed to get there. Now, it doesn't matter if it takes them all the time in the world, as long as it's enough time in game. They just have to finish this map, or at least get farther than REUNITED. So they get the checkpoint, but they're in the same position as REUNITED. They had the same amount of time, REUNITED and Rogue, to finish the map from this checkpoint.
Yeah, time is definitely still a factor. When you only have 2 minutes to get through this point, this can be a very difficult area to push. We have Winghaven still holding his ground, ready with this Earthshatter, waiting for people to come around this corner, but they're not really engaging on him. They are just waiting for it. This might be a good time to try and stall them, even though the door is opening. They're just getting some push. Here they come with the walk forward, and the fight begins.
Winghaven going in, looking towards, trying to find himself that big Earthshatter. Has to hold strong as AKM pulls out the Deadeye, gets the flashbang down. Kib's going to get picked off in there, and Tvik goes off with the Dragon Blade. Now, there's a lot used there. They're going to push that payload up the ramp.
REUNITED actually didn't use too much in that fight. Ultimate-wise, they've still got a fair bit of work with here. They did get decimated, and it looks like Stir the might be one chance for REUNITED to hold Rogue back here.
The people coming out first, though, aren't the ones you want. They actually group up. They're ready for this one fight. They need Winston get in there first. He has his ultimate to pop, and you're going to watch for this Earthshatter.
Well, Valitaja as well looking for some opportunities and keep off to the side with the Death Blossom. AKM gets caught a little bit too far. Maybe a left-handed Albuquerque here, and there is Valitaja going towards Tvik. Losing the key characters are Rogue. Reinforce trying to get away, but there's no one to protect him, and Kim is going to shut him down. It's obviously in Hollywood. No one can hear you scream.
Reinforce, we've talked about this so many times. How did he just... he got lost, he charged off. It was a little bit unfortunate to see him die there at the end. He did need it to die, though. I guess his team was gone without him. He has the ultimate for this push, but so does Winghaven. We're going to see that back-to-back fight.
Kip just around the side, they've leapt in. He's got himself his ulti, but he gets picked up by AKM, has been flashback straight away. Deadeye trying to come out. Is it going to work? No, he gets forced away. You can see the Transcender Sunco. Hit me, hit me, hit me. Not going to happen. Valataja cancels it out. The rest of his team are in trouble at the moment. That's both damage dealers down for REUNITED.
6 meters to go here for Rogue, though. They can dent here. Unco picks up Winghaven and Rogue just on the precipice of this one. REUNITED are falling. Now it's a race walking. Kib to try and keep this one going. But no, there's the payload. He gets moving. It's stopped yet again. Valataja's going to blink in. Oh, he gets stunned up. There it is. Rogue get it done. They stun up the Tracer trying to slow things up. And the first map goes to the boys in blue.
Really great showing. They started off a little bit weak. We saw AKM not being his consistent self. We saw him missing shot after shot that seemed so easy. But finally they pulled together. And this is just like we saw before. REUNITED and Rogue so neck and neck in their matches.
REUNITED pushing forward, especially in the Wild West phase. All of their play said, no, we are better than you. We are going to fight you. We are going to catch you before you can make any momentum happen. And as soon as the one smallest hole happened in their defense, Tvik gets the Dragon Blade, goes for 4 kills. All of a sudden, shoes on the other foot. REUNITED are scrabbling for a foothold, and Rogue are shoving them right back into their spawn.
You know, Kib was looking for flank maneuvers to use that Death Blossom for so long, he didn't even get a chance to it. Every time he thought he's in a perfect position, got found out. They were checking all the corners. Obviously, it started out from Valataja just hiding around the corner. Rogue were not letting any nook and cranny get away. They weren't getting caught off. It was fantastic stuff. Rogue 1-0 up. Zoe, what do you have to say about that?
Well, I'm pretty sure the guys here on our panel have a lot to say about that. Rogue took the first map, and yeah, let's talk about what we just saw. REUNITED for the second time on Hollywood, almost at the same spot. Actually, I think it's pretty much exactly the same spot. Just not managing to bring that payload home. What do you guys think was missing there?
It's a recurring trend, man. We've seen this time and time again, not only on Hollywood, but Dorado as well. Just getting so close to the end, but the defense spawning closer can be really tough sometimes. REUNITED not able to do it. The other side, man, the Genji versus Genji battle. I think that was one of the most important and interesting parts of this matchup.
I think it comes down to star power. I feel like Rogue, they don't get the opportunities that they want, but they force the issue every time. I feel like no matter what, you're going to see Tvik in there sooner or later. You're going to see AKM, and they don't wait for their team. You know, they're willing to take chances, and they get in there, they force the issue, and they make big plays. And I feel like REUNITED are playing more as a team, but they need to kind of let loose here, because I think they're playing a little scared.
Well, let's hope they manage in the second game of our finals here at the Overwatch Atlantic Showdown, and the second game is ready. We're gonna head over to Ilios for map number 2. Let's see if they can tie it up or not. Guys, take it away.
How is this going to work out? Last time they faced each other, it was the tiebreaker on Ilios. This time around, it is for reals.
Yeah,
It's going to be all 5.
Yeah, I mean, last time I honestly think Rogue were just a non-factor on Ilios. I just think no one is remotely close to REUNITED right now, globally, on this map.
Yeah, we saw it just moments ago. They had to beat Fnatic to even get to this place, and they were extremely dominant on Ilios. I wouldn't be surprised to see another incredible game here from REUNITED. I expect them for sure to win this match, and if they don't, that's going to be a huge morale drop for their team going on to the rest of this match.
I think they break REUNITED here if they win their map.
It was 100-0 on both Ruins and Lighthouse, I believe. I actually asked Fnatic around the back. I spoke to Vods, and I was like, why didn't you hang out like the Genji? He's like, we just don't have success with a Genji. Well, look at Kib. He has a great deal of success on Genji, on King of the Hill. They prefer the Reaper. Very interested to see how it's going to go with Rogue. Obviously, we can see both Tracers on your screen at the moment. Kib does have that Genji, but AKM choosing the Reaper.
I'm okay with this, to be fair. I mean, generally, McCree can have some success because it's hard for a Reaper to get up close and personal with you across the well. But AKM, we don't really see him play this Reaper much. Normally, actually, Tvik plays a Reaper, AKM plays a Tracer. So I've got to wonder what the thinking is behind this switch up here.
I think this is really going to rely a lot on Tracer play. Tvik is going to have to step his game up. We saw a couple missteps there as Genji, and he's going to have to be able to battle it out here against Valotaja. Of course, Kib still on Genji, has not faltered at all.
How is the initial engagement going to go? It's been such a big point for the European teams against the Americans, but they're against each other now, and they're going to go straight in for the initial engagement. Instantly, we see Unko just diving around the corner and saying, no thanks, Kib's coming for me. Reinforce, run and hide.
Pretty standard pick up there as well, and now Valotaja trying to push forward. He went so far back, he ended up in another map, but here he is still up on the point. Of course, a quick bit of a recall now, and Rogue losing a little bit of momentum early. Losing Reinforce so quickly to Kib has definitely hurt them in their control here.
They lost just enough momentum that they didn't get the point. They didn't contest it. The time is already starting to build up for REUNITED. That's a huge mistake on their part that they even let them cap the point. They could have held it for a couple seconds longer, but they lost someone early and it just slowly bled them out.
They finally jump down the well and give themselves a chance to respawn, regroup, recapitalize on exactly what they're going to do. Reinforce a little too deep there on the Winston. It's an easy thing to do, actually, on Winstons. We've seen it so often throughout this tournament, throughout the Atlantic Showdown. But here in the finals, not something you want to happen. Now we're seeing the Graviton Surge and Pulse Bomb, the deadly combo, ready for REUNITED.
Well, bear in mind here as well, for Rogue, we're going to have to make use of the Tvik Pulse Bomb as well. And of course, this Transcendence is going to be crucial. But now, Graviton Surge already comes down, and Valotaja gets himself 3 amongst that one there as well. Tvik now has to respond to this. He has to step up. Unko and Reinforce get there now as well. It's a very messy fight, but Rogue are only left with Tvik and Unko here. REUNITED stake their claim. This is what they do. This is their map. This is their house. And they're showing exactly why their name is on a plaque above the door.
The fight started with Reinforce jumping to the back. He had no reason to be back there. No one was with him. You could even tell that he was a little bit lonely. We didn't see the Pulse Bomb drop from Tracer to combo with the Zarya ult. It was just all over the place, and Kib is in their face.
Kib is in their face, but he doesn't manage to get anything with that Dragon Blade, so it was a kind of wasted ulti in the end. In fact, he goes down at the end of it as Reinforce comes on through. Winghaven is trying to get the Primal Rage working, but the rest of his team, the damage dealers, have already fallen, so effectively, he's just running time down. He holds it for as long as he can. 79% will be the score for REUNITED as it flips to Rogue.
We have the flip situation, too. We have now the ultimate of Zarya on Rogue. Let's see if they can actually defend this better than REUNITED did just a second ago. AKM going to be able to combine that Death Blossom here.
Desperately, Rogue managed to bandage up the wound here and give themselves a fighting chance, a bit of a breath above the rising tides perhaps for them, because REUNITED are coming back in, and they're coming back in strong. But look at this, AKM was already in the back lines. He was waiting for his chance to come forward. He gets shielded up and he goes in for the Death Blossom, but Unfix won't be put down so easily. Unfortunately, AKM has not been touched this whole fight. It's almost as if REUNITED couldn't be bothered dealing with AKM after he decimated their team.
I'm not convinced by Unko using the Transcendence at the end. I don't think it was necessary. They'd already got 4 kills before he used it, so maybe a wasted ulti. But the good thing is, of course, Wins keeps hold of the Graviton Surge and the Pulse Bomb ready in a moment.
Yeah, keeping on to the Graviton Surge is one of the best things they could have done. There was a couple chances where you thought he might use it, but he really held on to it. AKM was able to secure that fight all by himself. We have Lucio dropping down, not able to find the damage. Nice, huge damage coming up from him right now, even through the Lucio ult.
That's right, Kib now forced to back away. He's just going to head down the well. Ain't no wishes being made. It's more just a respawn attempt. But Rogue, hold on. And now, a couple more, and they will be looking pretty darn good. Bear in mind, of course, no ultimates available for Rogue at this stage. It was Wins who did use the Graviton Surge, and now the Graviton Bomb is primed, it's locked, and it's loaded for REUNITED.
Let's see if it works out. You can see Winghaven going to come around the side. He's got the support of Unfixed. Everybody trying to get in position, but instantly Reinforced in their faces. Unfixed comes around the side. There's the Graviton Surge. Is the backup going to come through? AKM manages to get himself the kill. There's the Pulse Bomb goes through, but it's AKM that comes out on top. He'd already done the damage to his team, and Valotaja simply gets 1 kill off it.
The sound barrier was just enough there to keep Rogue with a fighting chance there. Valotaja a little bit late to get to the Graviton Surge, but regardless, Rogue still had the extra health, a bit extra overshield. You can burst through a Transcendence, but not through sound barrier.
He held onto that Pulse Bomb as long as he could too, and even then people still survived. AKM almost falling in the well himself, but being able to survive through it.
Hey, we're into overtime. They're going to try and contest the point, but I'm not too sure if they got anything to back this up. Unko manages to get his kills for kill. REUNITED suddenly coming out on top in the kill feed. Can they get another? Winghaven finds Reinforced. Tank on tank. Winghaven goes looking to beat the man that they have to pick up. Keep him away from that point, along with in knocks, and now they are going to get the Lucio. Tavik goes down. It flips in overtime at 82% and counting. They can't afford to lose a fight here to Rogue.
Reunited, it's pretty much just one fight here. Rogue are going to come forward, and Reunited, they're going to keep it ticking. They're going to get the overtime, then they've got to win. They may require a couple of heroes to spawn back in for them, but Rogue, where's the ultimate? Nowhere to be seen. They're going to have a Transcendence from Unko soon. Valutage has held on to his ult. He's going to use it now as well. He wants to stagger people out, but it's a quick Wraithball from AKM to avoid the pulse bomb.
Overtime still ticking. Both teams, whoever will come out on top in this one engagement will pick up the first map. Transcendence comes down. Is it enough? Tavik finds himself to kill off Valutage. That is a big pickup. The Tracer going down. Primal Rage running. AKM working the damage down. Wins gets himself fully charged up, ready and able to get the kills, and Tavik chimes in.
This is perfect for Rogue right now. They both had sound barriers, but Rogue had the extra player, and Unfix's gonna find Nox. Tavik trying to stay alive, desperately trying to keep his head above water. Wins, not again, wins. Tavik, surely not. This can't be happening. Rogue are gonna turn it around and Reunited, but this Valutage gets himself a kill. He's keeping it in stasis. He's staying on the edge of the point. He's staying alive.
The rest of the team have respawned. Kip's got himself that Genji, so he's going to get back on the point long. This is going to be such an extended fight. The overtime's going to take longer and longer. But remember, it's still in favor of Reunited if they can clear it off. Reinforce goes down. Tavik, the man that's keeping them alive at the moment, he gets picked up. Overtime keeps on ticking. AKM comes in there. Is it enough to keep them off the point?
AKM, he has a bit of breathing room right now, but he's staying alive. He gets a shield, and the rest of Rogue are coming back to the point. They've spawned back in. Kim has Dragon Blade. He's looking to finish off Wings here. He's made it very, very hard to connect, but Reunited, they have control. They have the point. They have the round.
The most crazy overtime I've seen yet in this tournament. They held on to that for an incredibly long time, favoring, of course, in the end, the team that had it already. Looking at another victory there for Reunited.
Nutty! Valutage was the last player left. It was Wins and Tavik managed to clean off pretty much the remainder of Reunited, and then somehow Valu keeps the point ticking long enough. He stands in the back corner, he's standing away from the Winston. I think Rogue didn't even realize he was there, and then the cavalry arrives.
It seems as though Rogue turned it on in the last minute. Had they been playing that way the whole game, maybe they wouldn't have been in that situation in the first place. They ran in with no ultimates. It seemed desperate, it seemed dire, and they found them somehow. They found a full minute of overtime.
So many times we see Tracer players going off wild in overtime, and Tavik and Valutage are absolutely delivering there. But now we go into Lighthouse. Who is going to be the man that gets the first blood? Reinforce, making sure he doesn't go too deep this time like he did last time. Finds Kip. Kip trying to get the flank around there, not having any of it with the Genji.
AKM is, look at him, look at his positioning as well. He's got a good chance to do damage, but now he becomes a bit of a focus. Going to take a bit of a breather in the side room and work his way back. This first fight is incredibly important here. As Valutage are able to jockey back and forth, he gets on towards Tavik, and it should turn in favor of Reunited.
Absolutely. You can see Valutage working well here. Finally going to get himself another kill on Unko there. The supports get taken down. A gun to the face, I believe.
Valutage got a piece of every single meat in the store there. Every person. He put his name on them. He walked away from it, and now they have the point. Again, Reunited. It's so important to get this point first, and they've done it again.
Yeah, he's the kind of guy who brings a forklift to a buffet, our man Valutage. It works out nicely, though. And now Rogue have got to regroup. They're thinking about a high ground push, and they're going to start this one up here. But already AKM trying to get through. Aggression here coming out as he wants to try and get rid of Winghaven. He's isolated the Winston. He gets rid of him. Now we can come back into the fight here. Kim gets on towards Wind, and the Dragon Blade is swinging.
Dragon Blade swinging, but Wraithform's going to stop the kill there, and he's going to try and find on towards the Tavik, but Tavik recalls. He gets away. AKM, the chopper's not going to work. It is not going to deliver, and Valutage will keep it clear. You will not flip the point. 40% and counting. Reunited.
Bizarre fight from both sides. A lot of wasted ultimates, but still Reunited. I feel like I'm saying this every time. They save more ultimates when they win fights. When they lose fights, they always just seem to have more in stock.
Yeah, well, now we're even in terms of ultimates here as well. Both of the Tracers have ults as well. We do have a Primal Rage for Reinforce. See if that works to knock people off, but Sound Barrier's coming in right now, and Rogue going in.
Unfixed already taking a lot of damage before he could get his shield up there. Couldn't get the health. Actually, it was Reinforce that come around, snuck it from him, but it's a trade back and forth between the two. But you see Winghaven getting himself the quad kill. That was on the back of a pulse bomb, so we can't give him all the credit for that one. Valutage once again landing it.
Valutage is absolutely the star player in this match. I was saying early on, the Tracers were going to make this, and Valutage this match has just had so much team support. The Discords have been where he needed it. Every single time his team needs it, he finds the damage.
3 fights in a row, Rogue have failed to challenge this point. Reunited are heading towards a complete shutout here if Rogue don't have something to say about it now. They've got some key ultimates online, but they've got to use them correctly. Tvik now wants to challenge out Winghaven. That's the first step. First tick in the box. He gets rid of the Winston. Now he needs to transition from there.
Graviton Surge comes down. Winsman needs to finally get himself something going here with the help of Tvik. They're going to clear the point up at 99% in overtime. This is going to flip over to Rogue. Are we going to see it happen again?
I don't know. It's definitely possible. We have another big engagement coming up. I know Kib really wanted to go wild in that fight, but we have one of the other super combos. We have Zarya unfixed, going to be dropping that Graviton Surge, and you know that Kib wants to be able to kill them. Do we see any support ults? No. Gonna have to worry about that Lucio building that extra 30%.
That's it. Reunited, though, they have what they need to take this point. The tools are in the kit, but look at AKM. He wants to catch them before they can even get to the point. The Graviton Surge comes in. Valentine and Unfixed getting involved in the fight now, but AKM is still alive. Keep your eyes on that man. Tvik is well from the other side. It's a 2-pronged attack, but Kim says no. Reinforces, okay, maybe, but Tvik still has the pulse bomb ready to go. Reunited down to 3. More takes down Tvik, but Reinforce standing on that point. Reunited have got to regroup here.
That was absolutely not how they wanted that fight to go. During all that carnage, we saw the Zarya ult having no impact whatsoever. It might have just been thrown into a ditch. For all it was worth, it didn't do anything.
Straight in the bin.
And Unko, of course, has Transcendence available, so we may see this ticking yet further. Mort as well is going to get himself in there. Tvik's starting to get going here. Graviton Surge comes through. Sound Barrier gets dropped very early by Reunited there, and you can see Rogue just think, okay, we'll back off, we'll let you take this, and we're going to let it run out. Transcendence gets run. No kills going either way, so Reunited burnt both support ults and got nothing for it.
No, 4 support ults were just burnt there. No Transcendences, no Sound Barriers left, but now it's just plain, dirty fighting. Winghaven gets rid of Wings, and Reunited now go in. The pleasantries were exchanged, the supports used their ults, and then the kills were in the red direction. Reunited will flip this point back, and they will secure the second in a row. They are 1 away from making it 1 apiece in maps.
Truly incredible. This is just a dominant performance. This is what we expected from Reunited. And when you have a team that is this powerful on King of the Hill, I was saying it earlier, how scary must it be that they can just select a map and say, we're going to win? If they start off strong, if they start off with this advantage, and again, the first map is a King of the Hill map in their favor, they have this 1 point going on into the future.
Well, Lijiang Tower is still in the pool as well, so they've already got another one to fall back on. And, well, if we look at capture points, both teams have been incredible on those. Oh, long way to go, though. Long way to go. It's only 2-0 here on the second map. Rogue, of course, picking up the first one on Hollywood, so they're not going to be panicked yet. The 2 boys in blue, of course, Wins and AKM. We need to see the brothers. Can they work it out? That's the question. Tvik, of course, was going off on well, but here in the ruins, this could favor Genji for Kib.
Yeah, definitely Genji. This is a place where he gets to jump around, do everything that he wants, and of course only one team having them reunited with Kib, who has played so well. I don't think I've seen a match where he has disappointed his team, where he's done something wrong. He has been one of the most dominant players here, and he's already looking for a kill coming here on the first point.
And this kind of consistency is just unbelievable from a player who doesn't have a pedigree and a history in esports, and he can come to his arguably first LAN event and deliver like this. Astonishing.
Cruz gets taken down by Reinforce. The aggression finally paying off there. You can see Kib trying to go in, but doesn't get anything for it. Has to try and back around the side, and Tvik gets pooped in there. So, it will be Rogue take the first point this time around against Reunited.
Kib has disappointed me right after you say it.
He did get focused down there as well, but this is a first for Rogue amongst this series, getting the first fight over on this point. A good start for them here, but they need to hold on strong now. Valentine wants this fight against Tvik. Both Traces go for the recall. Tvik actually goes for the disengage. He realizes he may have bitten off a bit more than he can chew. Winghaven comes in, Tvik knows he needs to avoid it, and there's the Sound Barrier.
Coming through Transcendence as well. You can see Tvik sitting on that pulse bomb, tries to plop it onto Unfixed, but it doesn't really hit his target. Valetaja does, takes down AKM, Tvik drops, and it's going to be Reunited, flipping it straight back. Rogue not holding this for 1 second.
Oh, that was a huge mistake from Tvik. It's very uncharacteristic of him, too. Right before he could throw that pulse bomb, Zarya wasn't even looking at him, and the package was not delivered. You can't have that kind of mistake in this grand finals of the tournament when that could make the difference between your team winning a fight.
Definitely was not from Russia with love, no doubt about it. Now, Winghaven, of course, does have Primal Rage ready to go here. Reunited are in control. Rogue are ahead, but now the Transcendence is going to come in, and Winghaven as well. He's going to back up a little bit. He's lacking teammates. He's been focused down.
Very early Transcendence as well. He hadn't even taken any damage. Nobody had taken damage from what I could tell. They just flew straight in there, so they've used it far too early, and now you see Valetaja and Kib, who just held on to their ultis and says, thank you very much. That was easy.
if Rogue was going to win on Ilios, I feel like they were going to start doing it here. They were able to actually, for the first time ever, capture the middle point before Reunited, and they couldn't hold on to it for a single fight.
I mean, I don't want to break it to you, but if they don't start winning here, it's over anyway.
Yeah, that's a problem.
But at the moment, you can see AKM on the Reaper. This is something, I mean, it's exactly what Fnatic did. They had the Reaper instead of the Genji. They said the Genji doesn't work, but it works so well for Reunited. You have to think, can we make it work for ourselves? Tavik is a very good Genji, but this time around, it is going to be a very even fight exchanged between the two.
So Winghaven will drop now as well. Reunited have only got 2 players left after the fact here. Now with the point already getting flipped back for Rogue is a pretty good omen, and they're going to be able to maintain it for at least the next spawn wave. Most of the fighting actually happened after Rogue sneakily captured that point out.
Yeah, they were away from the point, and they didn't even contest.
We're seeing a lot of ultimates from both sides. This is definitely a huge fight coming up. Gonna really want to see who can get the better Zarya ult. We may even see that awkward situation where one Zarya grabs a team, the other one grabs a team. We definitely have support ults on both sides. There's one of them grabs, he dropped the Graviton Surge, and everybody in both teams is inside of this.
Valataja gets himself the pulse bomb. That's the main difference between the two. And you can see Unfix going in. Doesn't have any charge whatsoever after throwing out that Graviton Surge. Going to get forced back. AKM, his Death Blossom doesn't catch him anything either, but the sound barrier working in their favor. Moore tries to chime in with 1 kill. Cruz just trying to keep the position alive, just hop, skipping and jumping, and he actually avoids AKM. Will finally go down. No, he gets around again. He's got the health back.
Somehow he's managed to keep himself alive. This man is a master of escapes. More like Harry Houdini there. Cruz, a good performance, but Valutaja as well will be there to join him now. And Reunited, after keeping that point in stasis for so long, it has ticked in favor of Rogue. So Reunited do need to actually complete a fight and capture this point ASAP.
They have to get it. It's do or die time. They're going to see Kim's going to try and go in there. It's overtime time, and you can see there's nobody else with him. He can't hold this alone. And Genji's not going to have the defensive capabilities, and it will be finally Rogue that look to pick up their first chance here on Ilios. Finally, they get themselves on the scoreboard.
That was what I said. Right now, they got to do it. And unfortunately for Reunited, they were able to do it. That is too bad, but unfortunately for Rogue, they still have to play 2 maps of Ilios. And to be able to hold on that long is going to be very difficult.
Well, if you're Rogue, it had to happen here or never. If they can break Reunited on this map, I mean, it's still within the realm of possibility, let's be honest. Then it's all downhill, perhaps, for the group of friends who've achieved glory in the past, now coming back together. Rogue, they just want to ruin their day. They want to rain on their parade. They've done it to Envy. Reunited is next.
We're returning to the well. This was the map of unending overtime.
This is the map that Rogue came closest to winning, though. If they're going to win another map after those ruins, this is the one they're going to look to do it on.
And the initial exchange, Rogue come out on top in the ruins. Let's see if they can do it once again in the well, because Winghaven's already going to find himself reinforcing, goes looking for the kill around the side there. Nox getting taken very low, finally gets picked off. That's less than ideal. Junko goes down, both supports picked off, and Reunited. Winghaven just going off there with the support of his team.
That's it, Rogue, where are your heels at? They died within the first 10 seconds of that fight, and it's an easy cleanup from there for Reunited.
Definitely Reunited back to their regular selves, capturing this point first. And this is a very difficult one here on Ilios actually to attack. It's a very awkward, narrow choke point that teams usually have to push through. I would say the team who grabs this one more than any other King of the Hill map, this is important.
Well, you can see Rogue actually take a bit of an interesting entry point towards the well area now. AKM actually thinks twice about going super deep there. Kip finds himself surrounded by Rogue players, and he gets taken down there. That's a bit of a cheap loss if you're Reunited now. They've got to work extra hard to make up for that.
Well, it's not going to work out too well because both damage dealers going down. It's just simply a case of cleanup duty. Winghaven, well, AKM, once he's on your butt, you're in trouble because that Winston can't deal with those big shotguns coming out. Now he's going to get himself the support, though. Cruz comes through. The Transcendence helps him out, and it doesn't matter how many times you shoot when the Transcendence is healing that much, you can't get the kill.
Absolutely, big fight coming up again as well. We have a lot of players very close to their ultimates. Going to have Kib and Unfixed again with that big Zarya ultimate, which I'd really favor here again on the defense. They have to walk through it. You can split up, you could be ready, but you're going to have to walk through these narrow chokes and get Graviton.
Reinforce does have the primal rage ready to go, and he's going to start things off here as well for Rogue, who's going to be coming in around him. You can see Tavik wasted no time in joining his simian friend, joining the fray. And now Reinforce backing up for a moment, but now wants to go in. It's a sound barrier ticking here for Reunited. I heard a Graviton Surge being used. Not so many people being caught up in that one, and AKM's holding onto that ult.
Kip pops out the Dragon Blade, see if he can get anything from that one. You see one man going down. That's going to be AKM picked off by Winghaven. Smashed down there. Kip gets nothing with his Dragon Blade, but it doesn't matter because the rest of his team picking up the kills. He finally dives on through. Tavik goes down, and REUNITED 81% to 0 so far and counting. May well be taking it 3-1 here on Well.
That's really good for them because unfortunately unfixed Zarya ult off camera did nothing. They had a Winston trying to kill everybody in it, but he was the only person occupied by it. Of course, there was a Zenyatta ult defending everybody, and I really want to see AKM in particular right here get speed boosted in, hit with a huge Death Blossom here, and bring it back.
Last chance to Loon now for Rogue. They're going to try and come forward onto this one. Unfixed, the only one getting caught up in that Graviton surge. Everyone else joins him after a while, but the Transcendence was there. Vods wanted to be sucked in. AKM, what are you doing? There's nothing there for that Death Blossom whatsoever. Kim gets on towards Echo here in overtime, thinking Rogue flipped the point back just perfect. Now, this fight can continue without the risk of them losing if they step off the point.
Tavik's got himself his pulse bomb ready on Wade, but he's down to 20 health. He has to back away, gets himself the charge around the side, but the rest of his team are getting killed around the side. They're going to flip it right on back, and now REUNITED, if they can get a hold of this point, they can clear it off. It is going to go very much in their favor. Kim comes out with the Dragon Blade, and now he's just chopping and a dicing.
Yeah, Tavik tried to make himself scarce there to keep that point ticking along for Rogue, keep it contested, but there's no chance. It's overtime. REUNITED, they may have done this one, but Nox and AKM just going to dip their feet in the water there as well. But will they fall too far down the well? That's the real question, isn't it? It's going to be REUNITED holding on. Reinforced gets cut down before he can even get to the well anyway. And it is the way it should be. Everything for now is right in the world. Ilios goes for REUNITED.
Rogue unable to pull it together, didn't do what they needed to do in most fights. Just again, it's a testament to how strong REUNITED is there. I said AKM needed that speed boosted to hit Death Blossom, and what did he hit? He was out in the garden picking posies. Roses, whatever. Death Blossom. Death posies. Dandies.
What? Dandies. I don't know what you pick in America, but I don't know. Maybe roses would be ideal, but 1-1 so far. REUNITED straight back on Ilias. Zoe, what do you have to say?
Well, I think the guys here have a lot to say, as we did discuss the teams right when the game was happening. And I want to talk a little bit about REUNITED. Hug, is there a specific person in that team where you would pin down, like, that was a key player? Like, this is a reason why REUNITED is being that strong.
Yeah, especially on that King of the Hill map, I want to say Valataja. I mean, the casters pointed out, we kind of haven't mentioned him too much, but the unsung hero, I mean, we're all expecting Kib to do really well, but he backed him up, and he did so much work on that King of the Hill map.
Yeah, absolutely, playing godlike as Tracer. But one thing that occurs to me about this this Rogue squad, one thing that I kind of maybe was thinking about throughout the match was, why didn't we see a little bit of McCree? You know, the European teams do tend to play a whole lot of McCree, and of course AKM's McCree has impressed so much this entire weekend. We just didn't see him show up with Reaper, I think, to the level that he could have as maybe Tracer, McCree, something else.
And I think back to when they played against Envious just before on Lijiang Tower, and they were up against Rogue against Envious. Envious were using just to make sure the Reaper Tracer combo against them, because we had both Winstons jump into the back lines, and the Reaper out of time, it was able to capitalize off Reinforce going too deep. But Rogue, on the other hand, almost lost that entire series because they were going Genji Tracer the entire time. And now they themselves are going up Genji Tracer for the entirety of Ilios there, and they still struggled against it. It's a little bit confusing. Why would they go about using the Reaper Tracer instead of actually switching up to what worked for them, which was that McCree Tracer against Envious? It just seems odd that they're kind of adapting really slowly, which is something we pointed out before this match even began.
That is true. Now the next map we're heading on to is going to be Dorado. So that is the pick from the guys from Rogue. How do you guys feel about that?
I feel like, in general, that's, of course, going to favor Rogue. It just seems like they have a deeper playbook. Like, when they need to make plays, they're willing to combo ults, they're willing to take chances, and I'm going to expect them to do really well here.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I disagree. Yes,
okay.
I'm going to be that guy. I think Doro's going to go actually REUNITED's way. I feel like REUNITED in general are going to be a stronger team on it. I just feel like Kib, and it's odd to say it because Tavik is basically like one of the best DPS players in the world, but I think Kib is just still that much better on Genji than he is. And Genji is such an integral part of how teams successfully attack on Dorado.
Well, we will find out if you are right or if you guys are scoring some prediction points here on our desk, as we are heading on to Dorado for our third game here in the finals. Enjoy.
Yeah, thank you very much, Zoe and crew. So, on to Dorado we go. Interesting choice for Rogue, especially with the fact that they lost it last time around to REUNITED.
Maybe thinking of bringing something a little bit different. I mean, just the opportunity to play a team on a map, you may understand what they did, and you can come back that second time. So often you see in ranked right now where you do get to that coin flip, and you're like, oh, I know what they did on defense. I'm ready to beat it.
Honestly, I actually think it's because Rogue's map pool is smaller than Reunited's. I think there's not actually that many safe picks at this stage for Rogue. I think they tried to go the Hanamura, like, oh, Reunited, come on. They're old school. They're like the old farts of Overwatch. There's no way they're playing this newfangled map. And then you see Unfixed on May, which is the weirdest combination ever in the world if you see what Unfixed looks like. And they managed to rock them pretty hard.
Well, on that point, wouldn't you want them to go to Hanamura where they were actually able to beat Reunited before? Don't you think they'd feel more comfortable there than a map they lost?
Well, I mean, they didn't. It was a dead close one, I think.
Well, it was the draw. It was the tiebreaker, yeah.
Actually, true.
Went down to you couldn't get any closer, honestly. But okay, let's talk about Dorado. Let's get into here because we've seen a couple of differences. We saw Reunited versus Fnatic, of course, on here earlier on. Reunited unable to finish the map. So I'm just wondering if Rogue was sat backstage watching this, obviously beating Envious,
right.
Going through against them on that and thinking, all right, we're seeing what Reunited are doing. We're seeing how Fnatic are holding them, and we can do the same.
Fnatic's hold. I'm still not super sold on that idea. I think they just don't want the stalls blocking their line of sight and making sure they can see what's coming.
Well,
okay. Super defensive.
Well, I mean, let's talk about Reunited's defensive hold. Obviously, we're going to see it around, but it was against Rogue we first saw it. They did exactly the same against Fnatic. We're probably going to see it again. But I guess that's for another round when we get there.
Yeah, nothing too exceptional coming out right now. Nothing too unexpected. They do, of course, have the Winston right out here. No Reinhardt from the attackers, which is something you typically see. They're probably going to have a very aggressive stance here. The Winston jumping in with the Tracer, focusing target on one person. Kib to follow that up as well. Definitely a very mobile team right here.
So the payload is approaching that first point. This is where we see a bit of a diversion in terms of where the attacking team is going. Now the question is, do Reunited stay the course? Do they keep the tiller straight and belt straight down the corridor? Well, they go around the left side. Looks like it's a bit of a mixed bag at the moment, Lee.
Well, Winghaven using that pounce already. He's going to have to wait for the cooldown on that one. He's not going to be jumping in anytime soon. He's just trying to get a little health there from Cruz, but Cruz is getting caught out. Winghaven goes down instantly to Tavik, and this attack has stopped before it even begins.
Yeah, this is just a very bad engage coming out here from Reunited. I'm not exactly sure what they're expecting to happen. They need to have a plan coming in here, who they want to focus, but no room was given from Rogue. There was never an opportunity because, again, Reinhardt is so important on these points.
Yeah, and this is that sort of, Reinhardt-less attack it was. Reinforced tries to drive-by on the Winston in midair, and Tavik just slams his shotgun up his rear end and says, have a bit of this, mate. Like, you can't get that close to a Reaper as a Winston and live to tell the tale.
Without a Reinhardt shield, I would have expected AKM's Deadeye to go a lot better than that. That was kind of a wasteful Deadeye. Now see Valataja, he's going to jump around the back. That pulse catches absolutely nothing. Don't even know where he was throwing it out there, hoping he could try and find out onto AKM, but he doesn't manage to get him. Winghaven goes down again to Tavik, and now with the tank down, the shield dropped, everybody from Reunited falls like a deck of cards.
And this is really a map out there, or really a stage in a context where Tavik gets the shine on this Reaper pick. He always seems to be very assertive. He very much stands his ground here. He doesn't have to work around the sides on, it's like a Genji. He can really just stand with the rest of the team and just keep pumping shot after shot. Body shots for Tavik, just easy as ABC.
They came in with the ultimate. They started that fight with the Zenyatta ult, but they were unable to find anything. They really didn't even waste any ultimates on Rogue side, which may be what they were trying to do a little bit. They have Lucio for another push. They have a big Zarya ultimate, but so does Rogue. And I'm going to favor them here with the big Graviton Surge actually coming down right now. Sound Barrier comes in there as well, and Unfixed actually had a Graviton Surge of his own. He's going to back away and hold it, but now here, he seems to be content enough letting Rogue sort of impale themselves on Reunited, because now Reunited can come back into this one. Reinforced dies with an Earth Shatter here, and Unfixed now wants to start the party off. It's a Graviton Surge coming away from Reunited here. AKM tried to hold on, but it wasn't enough.
Kib going off, and he doesn't even need his Dragon Blade. Manages to slice and dice his way through with the Shurikens, with the melee damage. And now at 2 minutes 30, Reunited will cap themselves at that initial point. It was an unusual one. No Reinhardt coming in there for Winghaven, but now sticking with the Winston, he can finally actually challenge out on the top ground.
I'm glad to see now, if you're going to have a Winston, you don't do it instead of a Reinhardt, okay? You might have to sacrifice the Zarya, and that happens, but on a point like this where you want to be able to navigate, like Wins is right now, into the backline, it's important. Was Wins too deep? Perhaps not here, as Reinforced is considering whether he wants to go in on this fight.
The change from Valataja as well. He's gone over to that McCree. He was on the Tracer earlier on. You can see that Cruz getting picked up. Deadeye from AKM is going to find himself the target of Winghaven. Are we going to see the change? Are we going to see that shield? I feel we have to now we go into the church section.
Really, I'm just going to say disappointing fight. Oh, Kib taking advantage now. I think gets kicked in the face by the Zenyatta for his troubles. He was in the backfield for so long, not really doing anything, not syncing up with his team, and nothing went his way.
This has actually gone horrifically wrong, because now they're trying to rush to get on the high ground. They're getting chased down. Winghaven gets in there. Valataja left clicks, takes Reinforce in the back of the head there, and the payload's going to move. And now Rogue are in this weird position where they're not able to hold the high ground, so they're just going into contest.
Yeah, well, all else players, you better fire up the Reaper copter and get a bit of damage out there. It's Vic, nicely done. Sure. Bit of a panic button there, I think, for Rogues. They were in stasis. They were trying to go back and get the high ground. They kind of got caught halfway through. But again, when you've got a Reaper and you can throw that down, no one really attacked Vic. Yeah, it's going to happen.
Yeah, those are the plays we need it on Hollywood. Tavik needs to get a couple of kills there, make some space for team. That was so huge now that they're able to get back on this high ground. This hold wouldn't even been possible if Tavik didn't have a Q button on his keyboard.
Well, Rogue already jumped down from the high ground, except they leave the two squishy guys up the top side. And Winghaven, well, he'd like to have a word, I think, right now with that McCree. He gets knocked right across the palais there. And now Kib going to be coming in with the Dragon Blade, pressuring now on towards the Winston. He has to put it away for the moment, but the damage being done here for REUNITED because Valataja up towards the side. He was playing a symphony with the Peacemaker.
Fantastic, fantastic stuff. Gets himself a flashbang at the end, and so many times we've been singing Valataja's praises. This man has played games across countless titles and been champion in all of them. He is absolutely delivering once again for REUNITED.
They're afraid to take this high ground right now. You can see them getting stuck in that stairwell. Kib alone was holding them back, but they're looking at the last second to try and jump on top of this. They definitely have a couple of ultimates advantage. He's not looking to find any high noon targets there until the last second. Waits it all out.
Patience pays there as well. He had to wait for that Winston bubble to dissipate, so instead he drops down and had a perfect little advantage to get that two-man Deadeye. He's going to follow up on towards Unfix there as well. Well, yeah, interesting to see Unfix actually going towards the Reaper here. REUNITED changing tack somewhat. 3 offense heroes are coming into the mix here. Valataja, Unfix, and Kib all playing their Reaper, McCree, and the Genji here.
Absolutely. So Rogue holding strong. Only a minute 30 to go as well, and they go back to that high ground. It's this awkward situation whether they hold the left or the right. They're unsure which way REUNITED are really going to test them. It looks like they're going to go underneath back to the church section. REUNITED, looking at the x-ray, pretty splintered at the moment, so they're starting to regroup on the left side of the church. So we'll see which way they go here. Of course, Ulti's very much split at the moment. Unfix is going to try and find him, get himself in a decent position.
Rogue has positioned themselves exactly the way they need to. They take cover behind this building because they're on the complete opposite side of it on that high ground. Though the fight is going to take place around this cart, but the cart has even rolled back so far. They have Reaper underneath them right now, pushing on it, makes the Winston drop down. High Noon comes out to pressure them.
This is going to force Rogue to fight now as well. They're either damned if they do or damned if they don't. That payload is moving because Unfixed was on it, but Rogue couldn't jump down. Cruz is going to now come forward now. The fight really starting off here. Wins the first one to go very low in this one. It's going to be a sound barrier for REUNITED. Unfixed is knocked on his butt though. Can't quite get the Death Blossom done for Kib and Valataja. You've got 3 offense heroes, Lee. Pick and choose.
Ulti's going left and right, and it's REUNITED. They're going to come out on top. They're going to push on through. The payload point will make its final marker coming into this final section. Only 20 seconds on the clock, so it's going to be close to overtime before it even gets there. So they're still only looking at a potential distance as they move into this final power station.
Yep, no chance to contest though, and it'll be a little bit of a time extension here for REUNITED. Still, I love that. I love having Unfixed on the lower bridge pushing the payload through while the rest of REUNITED threatened from the left side of the courtyard. Rogue, it was a rock or a hard place, frying pan with a fire.
It's crazy as strong as REUNITED looks right now. They only have 2 minutes left, and this is one of the hardest parts in the map right now. This stairwell right now where they dropped the gigantic Death Blossom, but so many Winston shields getting that eaten up. Nobody killed by it.
AKM being picked off so early is giving Valataja the high ground. They can't compete. Now AKM finally back alive, but you can see Kib, Reinforce goes down, Nox goes down. They're splintered. The spawns are all over the place for Rogue right now. They need to regroup at some time because REUNITED are on the surge of just piling on through, and Rogue have got to be careful they don't get wiped.
And this is free mileage for REUNITED at the payload now. Rogue can't even peek out of hiding without a full 6 plays ready to go here. Keep up on the high ground. This isn't perfect for REUNITED. They have the strongest position possible in this situation, and Kib has Dragon Blade.
Is he going to try and dive around the back? He's going to be looking for one of those juicy targets. Manages to get a glimpse of AKM. Valataja tries to pull it out. The deflect is not going to happen. Tavik manages to take him down. That's a big kill. Wins comes through. The pin goes down, and that's Winghaven taken out. Wins gets himself in, and Rogue finally hold with a minute to go on the clock.
Yeah, that was definitely very impressive from them right there. They had no advantages in that fight. They were on the low ground. They were buying time for their ultimates. Only Unko really had a Zenyatta ult, and I don't think it did anything. They were being held back by that High Noon, which they were actually able to stuff, and that's when the fight turned around in their favor.
Yeah, what a show of tenacity there. Like, if you look at it on the surface, they have no business winning that fight if they're Rogue. REUNITED had the best positioning, they're the best setup, they're the best ult ready to go, but now they've at least managed to get that high ground back here. REUNITED coming back in with a Dragonblade and a Transcendence. They've got a bit to work with here, and the fight starts off. That's a very, very, very strange Earth Shatter coming out from Reinforced. He's quickly trying to get the heck out of dodge. He realizes he may have messed up, and here comes the Dragonblade from Cube. AKM is in danger.
Support ult starts to run out, and kill feed starts to get lit up at REUNITED. You can see what Valataja chiming in. Mon comes in as well. That's an ace. I don't think they're going to pull support back. That's going to get straight through. It's going to be a massive time, but it's going to be a time nonetheless.
Oh, they get across the line, REUNITED. And the fans are on their feet here as well. Yet again, REUNITED have some trouble finishing the map. It pretty much took about the same period of time there. That Earth Shatter from Reinforced, was that really what messed things up for Rogue there on that high ground?
I really don't know. They had so many problems that I just don't know which one to pick out there. It was definitely a rough fight. It took up until the last 7 seconds for them to be able to capture that. But if we look back to Hollywood, neither team technically finished that, right?
Yeah.
So we can definitely see this go either way. The first point hold here, I think, is where so much of it's very important here on Dorado. You can eat up so much time here, and if you don't, they're probably going to finish.
And let's go back to REUNITED's defense. What we've seen the last 2 times against Fnatic and Rogue, previously, they go that crazy aggressive strategy, which bought them a full minute against Fnatic, and then they almost get back into position at the fountain. It's very risky, but if it pays off, it buys you a lot of time.
This is a strategy as well that Envy has actually pioneered. A very aggressive forward hold on the first point. So REUNITED, you'll actually see them walk past the fountain area, past down around the corner. They will literally sit in front of the Rogue spawn, and they will fight them there.
Fight them on the payload, at the spawn.
And the thing is as well, is that Rogue, to get the payload close towards the first checkpoint, they need to kill REUNITED. REUNITED die a long way forward, and it gives them enough time to at least come back for another hold on this courtyard area if they do die close to Rogue spawn. So it's actually not even that reckless, it's not even that cocky. There is a little bit of rhyme and reason, I guess, to this.
Indeed, they get the respawn and get back in position.
Yeah.
Just about. Now the question is, are they going to go for it? Because they're looking a bit edgy at the moment. You see Winghaven slowly slinking back away to the fountain.
I wasn't sure
this
if
seems
I
like conversations happen and they're like, let's not do it this time.
Yeah, they back up quite a bit, standing pretty far back at the fountain, having a pretty standard hold. We're not going to see things pop off too early here. And I want to say, we're seeing pretty standard team composition from both sides. I don't think anyone wants to risk a weird team composition, a weird strategy, when this is the $100,000 tournament Atlantic Showdown Grand Finals.
That's it. The stakes are the highest they've ever been in Overwatch. And Rogue.
Interesting. So Reinforced was expecting that and immediately went back in and changed back to Reinhardt. He was already on the Winston, so he switched off already. Obviously expecting the same thing from REUNITED, but going, okay, they're doing tried and tested. Let's get set up, and now we're going to see a left flank, or they're just going to push straight up through the middle.
But they're going to push up for the moment here as well. Then speed boost coming out here, and they're going to come forward on it. AKM just ducking back a little bit here. Rogue, perhaps a word of caution from the captain saying, Nox probably saying, guys, settle. Let's get into position before we start this fight off here. But now AKM, he's out for blood, he's hungry, and there's red in his eyes. He wants to get those kills.
Gets straight around in the face of Winghaven, does a lot of the damage. Unko picks himself up the kill in the end, and Tavik chimes in, and that was a very simple attack from Rogue.
REUNITED never had a chance. That whole fight was just slowly getting pushed back. Nah, I don't really feel like fighting right now. And by the time they were ready, they had lost too much health and they just got walked back by Reaper.
I mean, it took them a minute. I mean, bear in mind, we're looking at 8:53. That's where you want to buy yourself the minimum of 3 minutes on that initial point. It's a very hard first point to capture, and they've just given it up straight away. They're going to have to be so strong on this church section on the high ground.
This church section is not reliable, even for the top teams to actually buy yourself a decent amount of time here. So REUNITED best be racking their brains to get some safe engages that give good results. It's very, very hard to guarantee that when you're literally jumping on top of the enemy and trying to beat their head in with whatever you can. Oh, AKM, nice try, but it's going to have to be next time.
Valataja comes in. That was a nice flashbang, like you say. Immediately will slow things down, but the payload's going to get contested. They don't want to give it any distance, but of course it does mean they don't have the high ground, and all they got was a single kill for that. So they're in a really risky situation. It's like, do we back away, get the high ground quick, or do we stay and fight?
You could actually see Rogue there delaying. They were waiting for that Reaper pick. They needed something to happen. They didn't get it. They're starting this fight off once again with Zenyatta in here.
Transcendence goes in and still trying to get into the action, but he's got a Dragonblade. It might be up to the fact for Valutaja. Gives him a bit of a welcoming gift. It's a bullet strike between the eyes, and the Deadeye really rings true there and gets himself a third on the fight. And Rogue trying to get themselves airborne, trying to find good positions. Valutaja doesn't have time for that.
Winghaven on the cart, also dropping a 3-man Earth Shatter. They just got completely dominated. 2 ultimates took them out. completely. But right now, we're looking at Rogue. If they don't get this point now, they're going to be disappointed. They have full stock of ultimates, and they're coming in hot.
Well, Unfix immediately dives straight in with the Primal Rage, tries to get things going. The Graviton Surge working. You can see Reinforce swinging away, picks his target, manages to find the opposition tank as he manages to get the kill down. Winghaven will drop, and you've got to feel the Rogue are going to charge on through. We're going to see Reunited getting the respawn kills in just a moment. Oh, but already this is going Rogue's way.
Classy stuff there from Twig, gets the deflect at just the right time. Can Unco stop getting kills here? It was a joke. It was supposed to be a funny thing back in the takeover where he counts how many kills he gets on Mercy. And now he's literally getting the most amount of kills or final blows in this game as Zenyatta. Insane.
Definitely seeing Rogue walk up pretty close here. Doesn't want them to get up on top of the stairs and take that high ground. They don't have any support ultimates, and so often we see this point stalled by those supports, but they're quite low on the percentages. This push is just coming through. I'm thinking Rogue is going to have a pretty good advantage here. Hopefully they can take him out. AKM dropping the Death Blossom, finding one target. Crew's down already.
You can see the Transcendence running. Valataja has to find some kills and gets them. That had to work out for them. Reinforced down on the ground. Unco gets focused down, and Reunited do get the respawns and hold, but look at the position of the payload. We're only 3 minutes and 43 seconds into this. They have a full 5 more minutes to hold Rogue away from this final point.
Sometimes high noon, you can't find any targets. You think a fight's going to go away, but when you have that high ground, no one's contesting you. You're able to get that many shots off. Kib is on the ground. Death Blossom spinning. They used a lot of ults, but they're able to win that.
Tavik just got picked up out of nowhere. That's going to slow things down instantly. Buy them time when it's vital time they need.
That was direct fire there as well. There wasn't even any smoke and mirrors from Valataja. It's just a lazy flick of the wrist and some left clicks, and that's good night. He must have caught him as he tried to go up around the side here, but you're dead right, Lee. Rogue, there's no point even trying or thinking of coming forward without the Genji on this side.
Well, he's going to have his Dragon Blade, but he's gone down again. Kib's just picked him up before the fight even began. He tried to go through the church, tried to get the flank. Reinforce goes in, but they're already one man down to the good. And this is Valataja getting the peek around, just cancels off the ult. He doesn't need to use it. Unfix cleans up.
High noon is such a powerful ult here, and again, keeping that 50% charge when you cancel it. Canceling it in itself, all you need to do is scare everybody. You have a sight line of absolutely every square inch of this playground, and Tavik not being able to make it to the fight is a huge problem for Rogue right now.
Twice in a row, no less. Tavik comes out of spawn and gets smacked down on 2 separate occasions right after each other there as well. Reunited getting in his head, showing him who's perhaps boss here, but AKM would love to get in position to get some good shots down. For now, he's safe. That's a little bit close to cover, but he wants to fan the hammer up now as the Transcendence cuts in through the fight, and AKM still has some comfortable positioning. He's going to get positions for a Deadeye, but he can hear Valataja's coming out too.
Yeah, he's going to look around the side. Everybody has to run and hide. You can see AKM comes around the side. He only gets Cruz with it. And Unfix, meanwhile, everybody's running and hiding. Unfix is having a whale of a time. That Tesla cannon doing some work. And Reunited hold once again. Now, we were talking about the time, 8:53. Sure. But they've only got 1 minute 30 to actually hit the point. They have to do that first.
That's right. If they don't get there, Rogue actually are on the time limit. You need to get this point, and then you can start thinking about the overall. 1 or 2 more fights is all that remains for Rogue. And even if they get there, let's not even get too ahead of ourselves. They have to deal with Reunited defending in the strongest part of the map here. So Rogue are going to have to come forward here. Tavik does have Dragon Blade. There's also the Earth Shadow. Reinforce needs to nail this, otherwise it's all over.
Reunited were a little out of position at the start of this fight. They just ran straight for the point there. You can see trying to get around the side. Wins manages to get Valataja down. That big damage dealer being picked off at last by the Winston is going to work out well. Unco's going to get focused. Tavik goes in. He's got his blade out and he's getting some sushi being picked up there. That's going to be Rogue pushing through on the point. Finally, now we're going to see the power station. What can they do?
The ironic part is Kim's actually a sushi chef, but the shoe's on the other foot and he gets a taste of his own medicine.
They're already starting a little bit of a skirmish here, making sure they can't take the high ground before the card even gets pushed forward. And again, can I state how even these teams have been? Reunited had the exact same problems pushing that point, and these times are looking nearly identical.
Paul getting picked off very early there, and that's going to give them a time. The door's going to go through. They're going to go close, and look how aggressive Winter's going. He's just jumping straight up. They're not letting him have the high ground. He goes looking for Valataja, manages to get the flashbang down, but the damage may well have just been done. Wins does go down, pays the price, but Tavik is trying to hold them at bay. Reinforce finds Unfixed, and this is still a skirmish that's going on. Reunited not getting a chance to hold the point.
Deadeye coming out here from Valataja. He needs to try and shut down Tavik. He's causing so many problems. He's not even using the front door. He's not even using the bell, for God's sake. He's just managing to disrupt all the squishy characters in the backline. And now the Dragon Blade comes out, but Kib gets him. Tavik runs straight out, and Kib gives him a shotgun up the nostril, and will send him back to spawn.
Fantastic stuff. It looks like Rogue are going to get picked off, cleaned out here, but it's not done yet. Wins comes back. He's respawned. The Winston is not done. Valataja goes down. Both damage dealers being taken down by a Winston. That shouldn't happen.
Scientific. Scientific, they have one last chance to defend here. Reinhardt walking forward, Winghaven trying to get on the cart, and this is going to be it right here.
Can they do it? That's the question. You can see Rogue going to push around the side. Reinforce just backs away. Solid stuff. They know. Don't panic, guys. We've got 120. All we need. You can see the big, giant golden marker. Can they reach that final point?
Tantalizingly close here for Rogue, and they know it's within grasp. Another Earth Shatter, not quite connecting though. The shield was up there, but it's fine. Wins into Vicar in the backline, and AKM is pole position up there. It gets the flash down on Ringhaven. Reunited, they're crumbling, they're falling, they're broken, they're down, and they are out. There's no way of stopping this payload. And Rogue, get loud, Reinforce. You've done good, son.
Phenomenal match. It took both teams quite a while to do it right up until the end there. But again, Rogue, commonly in this series, able to win by just a little bit, unless it's a King of the Hill map. Do you think we're going to be seeing a Reunited try and win another one of those?
Solid stuff. Solid stuff. So, Rogue win out their map. My God, is it close between these two teams. Ladies and gentlemen, let's see what the analyst desk has to say about that one.
Thank you so much, guys. Yeah, something definitely caught my eye. No Zarya. We've seen Zarya picked in every single game in this tournament so far. However, now we're in the finals in this very game. She was lacking. Jason, why?
Yeah, so I think both teams really respect each other's Genji quite a bit. Tvik and Kid both playing phenomenal Genjis throughout the entire tournament. And one of the greatest counters to Genji is going to be a Winston, who can stick to you. They're not really depending on the Graviton Surge combo, but depending on a lot of these individual skirmishes that are happening around the map. And you even saw towards the end, Kid was like, all right, well, my Genji just can't really do much against this. When I got Tvik and Wins to fight about, I have to switch to Reaper. And with Rogue winning, you saw the Reaper didn't work.
All right.
Yeah, finally switching over to Reaper after playing Genji almost the entirety of this game, or this whole tournament, actually.
Yep.
And another thing to call out is both teams actually took their turns playing with only one tank here on Dorado, which has become increasingly more common, actually, both on attack and defense. We saw it different phases. But yeah, I mean, Winston on this map, so nice to get up to the high ground. That's really one of the things that Winston brings to the table, even beyond just killing Genji.
Do you personally feel that that one tank strategy works for the teams, or?
Well, we saw it. Envious actually running this quite a bit as well. It didn't end up working for them in the end. But, you know, it can work. It absolutely can. If you're able to use the map, use cover well, and you don't necessarily need all of that tankiness.
I think it's really interesting, too. It just seems like both these teams not only are evenly matched, but even during the hero picks, they're almost going exactly the same back and forth. And maybe that's just the European team right now, because it seems like no matter what, as we touched on, Zarya, especially for the NA teams, we have like Cool Matt, a lot of great players that play them. So everything's evolving, and it's interesting because it's happening even now while we're in the tournament, step by step.
Well, now Rogue is up 2-1. What does Reunited have to do to tie this up or even win the series? What are they lacking, in your opinion, at the moment?
Well, if you look at the last couple of days of tournament, they're doing pretty damn well on all the King of the Hill maps, so I really wouldn't be surprised to see us go back to a King of the Hill, whether Nepal or Lijiang.
See, I want to see Route 66, because Reunited, I mean, they're one of the few teams that actually actively practiced it and was one of the teams that was pretty unbeatable on it. It's just whether or not they feel comfortable. Like you said, King of the Hill was pretty, may not actually turn out to be one-sided, but it still felt pretty, it still looked pretty one-sided for the most part, when Kiv just really wasn't dealt with. Him and Valu working really well together. But maybe throw in, you know, a payload map here again. You still have potential to the map if we can have Reunited take it, so you have another chance. But then again, Rogue gets to pick if Reunited does win the next.
I really think King of the Hill or Control Point. I don't think they can beat them on payload, and if they do, I think it would have to be something very, very special, some curveball out of left field, because I don't know, Rogue just have so much momentum.
Okay. I definitely don't see Reunited going for anything like the assault maps. You know, they are known for their standard gameplay, and those maps definitely bring out the crazy stuff. So probably not going to see an assault map, if I had to guess.
Oh, well, we will find out in just a bit, but meanwhile, let's talk a little bit about the two teams at hand. If we're looking at the players, their individual skill, if we have to be very nitpicky here, anyone you will point out at the moment who you personally feel didn't perform like the way you probably would expect him to?
I would like to pick on Reinforce. Again,
now he goes back.
I've seen him, right? He's massive. Like, I wouldn't want to pick on him, and I'm like basically close to his height. It's insane. This guy's
I don't
scary.
mind. I don't know. It just seems like a lot of times he's out of position. A lot of times he's not coordinating with this team. He's the most hyped guy. Every time they win, we go back. He's just really pumped up, but at the same time, I think he's just too aggressive, and that's coming out in this play. You see his teammates, they're all calm, cool, collected, and if they lose, I would kind of talk to him and kind of bring him back down.
See, that's actually, I like that you pointed that out, because that's why I'm liking seeing Wins playing the Winston, actually, because it doesn't allow Reinforce to be as aggressive as normal, like we saw Winston before, really kind of overextending without getting some shields and not shielding himself and getting blown up. And then we have to talk about, I guess, the other end of that question. Instead of nitpicking, I want to give credit to Wins to be able to go from basically playing Lucio the entire time, and yeah, he's had previous results in like Shoot Mania as a top player, but go from playing Lucio when we did see Rogue win their last tournament at TakeOver, and then transitioning to a flex player. Because Zarya took a lot of time to get going, but once he finally hit that stride, he's become easily one of the best Zaryas here in Europe. And then to switch over to Winston, which you look at, it's not that hard to play Winston, but it actually is, to kind of have the game sense and the awareness of everything around you, which you do get from playing a Lucio.
And talk about the synergy between AKM and Wins. These guys played together in such a tight-knit way that every single time AKM's maybe playing Reaper or something like that, going for that Death Blossom. Of course, this is standard 101 Overwatch, but they are so synced together, with Zarya always putting the shield on his brother when it comes time to do so.
So we've just been told the next map, it's going to be King's Row. What are your thoughts on that map now?
I think it's a tough pick. I think it's really tough. I mean, especially because you just already lost 2 payload maps, and now you're going back to that. I just feel like it's a big upset.
So Rogue will be playing on defend. Do you guys feel like one of the teams has an advantage here, or feels more confident?
Well, actually, REUNITED has brought out the Hanzo on attack on this map quite a few times, and a lot of teams have trouble with this. Even a team like Rogue that is prone to bring out, Hanzo as well on this map as well, could catch them off guard, potentially.
Potentially, yes. Well, we will see if it is going to happen or not. Can Rogue take this home? Can they become the Overwatch Atlantic Showdown champion? Or will REUNITED tie it up and bring this series to a 5th game? All that and more we're going to find out with our casters over at the casters desk.
Yeah, thank you very much. King's Row it is once again. So both teams love to run that Hanzo comp. Are we expecting to see a lot more of it, along with some dabbing?
If you're willing to pick King's Row and you've played these weird strategies on before, I'm excited. This is an incredible map to have here in the Grand Finals. If we could see Tavik popping off on Hanzo again as he did before, I could ask for nothing else.
This is a gamble. This is a very much of a gamble map if you're REUNITED to pick at this stage. You're on the ropes. I mean, obviously losing this in this next map is not permissible. So you go to a map that everyone is sort of quite well versed on. Maybe you have something extra, something different prepared here on top of, the normal Hanzo activity we've seen. REUNITED are not a team that likes to, or that has been much experimenting with Ana. Really very much, I think the limit for them was a bit of Hanzo stuff coming out from them here. I see Unfixed maybe thinking about the May. I don't think that's going to happen here at all. But both these teams have said, like, we're strong on this map. So I don't really know why REUNITED perceive themselves as having an advantage coming in here, or perhaps they don't. Who knows?
Not seeing an awkward defense, anything too strange. Again, as I said earlier, I think these teams might be a little bit too scared to try something really uncomfortable, because this is the Grand Finals. This is so important to win this. Would you really put a loss on a weird team pick?
I mean, also, obviously, it's one of the hardest defensive points to hold, King's Row, because it's such a long run from the spawn, so I guess they don't want to try anything fancy, random Torbjorn in there or something. Something, that I have seen out there, maybe it was potentially a May from Tavik, but it can actually work on King's Row, splitting that attack, but I don't think we're going to see it. We'll see what REUNITED go with here, because there was Hanzo before, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen this time. We're going to see Kib, and switching onto Hanzo, trying to keep me guessing.
I like it, though. Of course, the pick comp here as well. Hook gets a pick, and Arrow gets a pick, and that makes that push so much easier. I mean, it's so punishing to get killed as a defender on this part of the map. You just sort of talked about that there, Lee. So all they need to do is just nail someone, and then REUNITED can slow roll through.
The problem is Rogue do the same tactic, so they immediately know how to defend against it. They were just like, okay, we know what's going to happen. They would shrunk around the corner and just going to sit back and defend in the archway and almost let REUNITED roll onto the point before they attack.
Well, the thing here is if they're trying to defend against it, eventually that Reinhardt shield is going to go down because they have a Roadhog who's hooked and taken down the Reinhardt right away. Reinforce the first to go down, and that's a huge pick here.
Scatter shot comes in there from Kim, a bit of extra damage across, and Winghaven actually falls, but this is REUNITED. They're winning the war of attrition. The flash from Valley Tarja doesn't quite get towards Tvik, but Tvik has got a lot of work to do from that backline there as well. He comes around a corner. Oh Lord, it just catches him on the way through. A bit of a parting gift from the man, and now Tvik keeping himself healthy. REUNITED got some great picks to start with, but Tvik doesn't care. He's more than happy to face down these two supports and get his hands dirty.
And that's tricky because there is Mort just around the corner. You can see Tvik down, and he gets picked off. You
Loads
don't
of respect,
pick on the
son.
double supports, and they will back you up. They've got the heals and the damage, but Unco chimes in, takes out Winghaven. Winghaven rushing himself back in there and instantly gets dropped.
Zenyatta ult popped for, I'm not even sure what reason. Unco moving forward this fight, no one going down quite yet. AKM not even sure he's killed by Hanzo. Arrow finally connects with him out of nowhere, and everyone is dropping like flies.
Here's the picks, look at that. 2 kills for Kip, 1 for 1 fix. The hook comes in, Unco can't really dodge that as a Zenyatta. And REUNITED, a little bit of a blooper on the start there, but you can see that Hanzo is starting to take effect. Now, of course, does have Dragon Strike available. We'll see if Kip wants to stick with it here, as some players have chosen to do. Still, I mean, at any point now as they work down this next little road here, information gained by that Sonic area is important for Kib. It looks like that's all he wants, though.
So something we saw Energy running a hell of a lot of during the regionals, during the finals, was the Hanzo-Xayah combo. Now we're seeing Unfix making that switch, going over to the Xayah. It's the Graviton Strike, whatever you prefer to call it. Kib, he's stealthy. He's looking. Tvik, you're in trouble, buddy. He's got away with it.
He jumps back into his team though as well, but there comes the Earthshadow down and there's the Sound Barrier to follow it up here. REUNITED are ready to fight, they're willing to do so as well. Kim gonna get the Dragon Strike coming through here, not connecting with anyone, but it's gonna force Rogue out of the way. Vic gets 2 though as well, he doesn't care about no dragons or no wolves, he's got shotguns, that's even more effective.
This is the Tvik we need to see on this map. Cleaning up, making sure everybody is dealt with. That Graviton Surge, of course, definitely helping him out. I'm not too sure that Wolf coming out was that helpful. It was a little bit early, and everyone was already off to the side anyway. You have that sonar arrow. You should put a little more prep work into your dragons.
I mean, the biggest thing is, obviously, this isn't beta. Everybody knows what comes. Everybody's seen the Hanzo. Everybody knows exactly where that's going. And they just push to the side. Yeah, everybody's been on Reddit. They've seen play the game over and over and over again. REUNITED, though, obviously losing out early. Rogue had to defend that well, because obviously with the point going so early on, we're at 3 minutes and counting. Still REUNITED plenty of time in the street section.
Yeah. He actually lost faith quite early in Hanzo. He made the switch to Genji already with actually 50% ultimate since the switch. It seems like he's barely been out here. Everybody backing up, high noons, shields.
Oh, not too bad. Reinforced and wins. They're put in the ground. Valentina's not done there. AKM also going to go as well. He's looking for Sphinx, but Sphinx going to get out there. Nox going to be firing away at Valentine to catch him out.
The support's chiming in once again, but isn't enough. There's a long old run. Unfix comes through, gets that beam fully charged, and lasers down both Tvik and Unco. And the payload will finally get rolling for REUNITED here. We've got 3 minutes to reach that next point. They're going to have to get this going. This is their map choice. This is their careers. This is their opportunity to get themselves to the 5th and final map.
Absolutely great play there from Winghaven, of course, opening up that high noon. We're going to see if he can pull it together for himself with his ultimate. There's definitely going to be one huge fight coming up over here at this choke point, which is so important. You can gain so much time by winning this as Rogue.
That's it. We're going to have the Transcendence coming out here as well. You heard the Graviton Surge. AKM, will it be true? Will it happen? He gets 2. 2 is not bad. Not as good as 4, but it'll still take the cake. Headshot. Unfixed where you outside. It's going to be Wins coming through as well. Picks up Mort. Unco is there. Rogue start coming forward in numbers, and REUNITED get knocked the heck over.
This is one of the longest walkbacks ever. If you are unable to finish that and get that checkpoint there, it's just such a blow to your time. You're wasted so much. Your Rogue has to be feeling good after that.
Kib with the Dragon Blade, Valataja with the Deadeye, Winghaven with the Earth Shatter. Everything's stacking up, but you can see Rogue, they've gone so aggressive ahead of the point. Winghaven already trying to come around the corner. The Earth Shatter comes out for reinforce. This time the aggression works absolutely perfectly. No disguising that. And AKM pushes on through with the left clicks.
They are just in control. All of a sudden, they figured something out. Honestly, they were doing better when they had Hanzo.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, you can see Kib actually switched away to Genji straight after he used the Dragon Strike, and now he's switched over towards the Reaper. Now, if you're making Kib sweat, if you're making him think twice and switch, you know something's working right. And this is why I had my doubts about REUNITED choosing this map. But Wins is going to go through and try and reverse the fortunes here.
Wins tries to go aggressive. Isn't going to be enough. Gets the Primal Rage ready and waiting to go. AKM gets himself another kill. The left clicks from range. AKM absolutely safe right now. Just doing damage from range. Unfix, your laser doesn't reach that far. Reinforce goes down though, so no shield left for them. They have to respect that and back away. The rest of REUNITED come forward. And now they're going to force Rogue back, but they're going to be able to find the point. The Deadeye comes out.
It's Transcendence ball over the top as Unco just trying to make sure he can get some information there. At the moment, it's just Fazoni by the looks of things, but REUNITED might want to respond, and they do. Earthshatter comes down. AKM is completely, he's used his fertilizer right now. It's Valentine gets himself 2 kills over the top. He's even got his own Deadeye, but he don't need that. It's going to be a flash to the head. It's going to be a fan of the hammer. It's going to be a REUNITED getting home to the Foundry, at least for now.
That's definitely this checkpoint here. And this next point, I'm absolutely looking for Kib. You want to see people taking control of this high ground. Reaper teleporting up there, but we're going to have Tavik crawling across the top like that little ninja, keeping him off. This is definitely a hard point to push, but they've got the momentum now, and I think they can do it.
I wonder if we're going to see some changes. I wonder if we're going to see Tavik making that change going over. I wonder how it's going to work out. The Graviton Surge comes through. Not a great deal of charge. Now there is 100%, and that's a straight-up wipe. And that's a real problem for Rogue. If they can't keep this point alive for a long period of time, Tavik, that is you going down. They're going to be round the corner and pushing the slope before Rogue even respawn.
And Rogue couldn't even get away. They lost 3 people in the blink of an eye. Tavik was sort of too busy trying to navigate away from that carnage. It was like a Venn diagram, a massacre the REUNITED laid down there with all the ults. It worked out beautifully, and Rogue now have to stand up on their own 2 feet. Almost 7 minutes for REUNITED. It's not still a time, but Rogue need more time for themselves here. Reinforce. Not going in too heavily here, but there's the Earthshatter.
Oh, not
another
again.
Shielded Earthshatter, and always seems like Winghaven able to do one better.
Absolutely held strong, held solid. Winghaven gets himself a double, and this may well be the map. That it's so hard to work as a big tank like that. It's so obvious when a mistake comes through, and Winghaven just showed him up. Now he has to back away. He doesn't have a great deal of team, and the spawn point for Rogue is very close, but that payload has made a lot of distance. They've got 1 minute 30 to close out the game.
Huck in particular is trying to driven the point that reinforces the weak link on the team, and I think right there he had such a great opportunity to put so many people on the ground and waited until it was clearly a bad time.
Unco just picked off Valentine. That's a big cojones play, I have to be honest with you. He's going to drop down again. 2 more kills. He's going to get charged away. Everyone now showing, flexing their guns a little bit here, but looking like REUNITED making some progress.
Kib's going to come pushing on through. You can see he's going to work down that Primal Rage. Winston has to back away from this one, has to respect it. The respawns come out, but they're right on the doorway. That payload is going to keep on working through. They're going to try and push on the point. Is it going to be enough for REUNITED? The Graviton Surge comes out, but you can see he's going to get contested just around the side. Have they got enough here? You can see AKM with the Tracer. He's keeping it alive right now as the Transcendence runs through. Reinforce comes back in. The Earthshatter goes down. Winghaven will close this one out. And REUNITED posts a time of 8 minutes, 11 seconds.
The Winghaven Earthshatter, that's what I'm talking about. You're seeing the difference here between Reinhardt's hitting charges, hitting these Earthshatters, and it made the huge difference there in the end. They were able to win off of it. Unfortunately, not winning off that amazing Graviton. AKM switching to the
I feel it's so hard to obviously talk about a weak link on a team, especially when they're in a grand final.
Yeah.
But yes, sadly, I mean, Reinforced, we saw the good and the bad. Sometimes the aggression worked out. We saw it in the street section, it worked countless times. But when it doesn't work out that one time, it can be so crucial.
Blame the Reinhardt, always.
Rogue need to settle down. When Unco made that shot over towards Valentine, yes, it was impressive, but he starts getting mouthy over there on that desk, and Kib just jumps straight in and uses that Death Blossom. You're not going to get away with moments of hubris like that, getting too big for your boots and yelling too much. Same I could be saying for Reinforced there as well. Yes, this momentum is very, very important, but you're playing up against players who just don't get rattled. They don't get tilted. They're at LAN. They've been here 6 times or so. This is more 6th attempt at getting a trophy. It's not about egos here as well. And for that moment, yes, it was impressive, but you can see how quickly a cute little play with a Zenyatta killing a McCree can be overrun by REUNITED starting to fire up into that fight with the Death Blossom.
Oh, okay. Do we see the same from Rogue? The Hanzo, you can see Tavik at the moment. It is something he's ran a number of times, and this is what we talked about. Obviously, both these teams run very similar attacks. How are REUNITED going to adjust to that? We see Unfix coming out with the Zarya this time, so the shield's going to be working out. Winghaven, of course, sticking with the tried and tested. Very standard stuff for REUNITED. I'm just interested to see whether, I don't know, whether we're going to see an Ana back up the Hanzo or something like that.
Yeah, definitely. This reminds me of similar strategies before where you saw Widowmaker up top and sniping. And even if it didn't hit anybody, it walks everybody back. Everyone is so scared of Hanzo. It never feels good to get one shot from nowhere. So you always play way too cautiously against them. I think that lets the rest of your team capitalize against everybody.
Is he just going to back away and switch?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not going to be the
Huge
same.
disappointment.
So, all right, Rogue going to go for something a little bit more standard here as well, but 8 minutes and 11, this is such an achievable time for them. They're on the field of dreams. They can see their victory within their grasp, but now Reinforced is going to charge right towards it. How to get mobbed there? I don't even know how, but he went down the phone box. You can't phone a friend there. The the Reinhardt's on top of you.
Valortage and Winghaven do get themselves 2 kills, but Unco's managed to pick one off around the side there. So Rogue, it's not all roses for them so far, as Reunited are keeping them at bay, but it's a really unusual position. Look at that, the first marker's already been reached. They have to go in and contest. Reinforce swings around there, quickly gets the fan of the hammer. Unco gets taken down, and Reunited hang on with the help of Valortage, who picks himself up 4 kills.
Talk about the weak link. If Reinforced charging in there, had he not got someone, it would have looked bad. But the times where it goes right for Reinhardt, the whole push was on his back.
Somehow we managed to get that early pick off there as well. It's never a good thing to lose your Zenyatta so early on in the piece, but the rest of Rogue were a little bit, well, lax in following that up. And yes, it will be cheeky little kid under the statue. Now, Rogue should be expecting this. They should check this straight away.
Yeah, they went straight for it. He's going to have to Wraithform himself around. But while that's all happening, Tavik snuck himself through the hotel unseen. Valortage's Deadeye finds nothing, cancels it out. That gets himself a 50% right back as Tavik goes diving in.
Oh, Reinforced gets the finish on Valortage there as well. Tavik with a bit of space to work with. This is just what you want as Genji, but in the meantime, AKM goes straight towards Unfixed here. This aggression from Rogue, it's unparalleled right now, and the Dragon Blade coming out. Tavik gets 1, Tavik gets 2, there's nobody left.
So perfectly timed coming out of the raid form. He knew exactly the timing on that one. Didn't even see the animation come out. He swung the blade and down he went. Reunited, they're in trouble now because that was a quick time from Rogue there. Now they have to go as aggressive as Rogue were in the street section. Rogue bought themselves probably about 3-4 minutes in that street section. Reunited, they've got to try and challenge to do the same.
I would love to see Unfixed hit a Zarya ultimate here before Wins is able to get it. He's really close, but if they can get a couple of key picks before this fight, that's going to win them this, give them some momentum, let them hold this. We actually do have a sneaky Reaper AKM in the back, Wraith forming out, nothing quite going down yet, and it's already been enough time that Wins is probably going to have that Zarya ult.
We do have a Nurse Shatter here for Reinforce as well. We just need to use it correctly. Valortage goes to the Deadeye in the backline there, and you can see Unfixed actually laying down the Graviton Surge. Minimal follow-up at this stage because Rogue obviously had the sound barrier, but Tavik gonna fall down there early on. Another Earth Shatter, another shielded Earth Shatter here. Another one for Reinforce that he doesn't make happen. He tries to charge in. He's trying to make this one work here, but even AKM is knocked to the ground. It's Wins. Wins comes out of nowhere and gets himself 2, and AKM picks himself back on his feet. He's fighting alongside of his brother, and Rogue are carrying this payload forward.
Oh, something deep down in my body hurts seeing him walk forward as Reaper, see that many people in a pile, and he drops his guns.
It's that horrible, oh no, I've got to reload right now. How does this happen? But look at this. Rogue are looking to post a quick time. And don't forget, they're 2-1 up. They're going to have 5 minutes plus to push through. They're going to get contested just before this final section. Reunited absolutely have to. But if Reunited lose this fight, Rogue are almost going to be knocking on their door with the payload.
Look at AKM as well. He's waiting in the wings for a Death Blossom. Now might be the moment. He wants to come forward. No, needs to back away. He actually goes down there. Kip finds him from the backside, and Valortage now going to take this advantage to step forward. He has a moment of clarity almost as he tries to knock on towards Tavik, but Tavik just gets himself out after killing Kip. This is a back and forward fight. Valor needs to stop this now.
They're going to keep him away. Valortage not going to find anything with that Deadeye, that pesky block there, holding him up there. Doesn't manage to get himself, but they won the fight, and that's what counts. Now,
definitely AKM dying early that really opened that up for them. It looked not too good for them. AKM died, was unable to Wraithform and get away, but he's going to be coming back with a Death Blossom. Really good fight here. Wins is looking for another Zarya ultimate, but Unfixed and Mort as well, going to be able to counter that themselves.
Rogue coming forward here as well. AKM wanted to use Death Blossom last time, but this time it might just work out. Quick sound barrier there from Reunited to counter it, and AKM has to go back to the drawing board, go back to trying to find a squishy little target there, but there aren't too many around. Winslow gets the Graviton Surge. Double kills come out here for Rogue. This could be the opening they're looking for. Quick swings for the fence of the Dragon Blade, and Wins takes down Valortage. Reunited get put in the earth.
This is not where you want to be as Reunited. 4 minutes. And all they have to do is get 1 checkpoint. Rogue knows that this is their grand finals. This is what they have to do right now, be able to win this.
this is such a hard defensive hold. It's possible. We've seen it so many times, but here in the grand final, the nerves are going to be so strong right now. People will be shaking, the intensity in there. They'll be running through their arms. Valortage, the Deadeye, finds absolutely nothing. They force out, they defend them back, but Rogue just simply slunk away around the corner, and it comes right back at them like an elastic band.
There comes the charging reinforce. It's a big one there. Cruz will fall. Tavik approaching now. Rogue can smell it. They can feel it. They're so close to their victory. Tvik's going to carry them all the way. AKM is going to try and get involved as well. He takes down Tvik. Reunited. Where are they? They're waiting to spawn on in. Rogue is not letting anything stop them right here, and the end is in sight.
It's respawn and panic time. You can see there's going to be the Tracer coming out. Everybody has to get out for Reunited. They've got to contest it now. And they've only got 3 minutes on the clock. And look at the payload. It's so close. Earth Shatter fails. That's not what you want to see. Reinforce goes too deep. He gets taken down, but AKM gets Winghaven. It's a counter back and forth. No
Colors in Blood finally reunited on the damage-dealing role. And speaking of which, their opponents went for the King's Row there, Stir. It was always going to be a risk. It was always a map that both these two teams were strong on.
What does it mean to be the weak link on the best team in the world? As determined by the Atlantic Showdown, all the teams here showing up, and we have a winner.
Absolutely fantastic stuff. Commiserations to Reunited. The irony is it was Reunited that came out on top during the group stages, but Rogue, what a performance from them. They went the entire distance. You couldn't go any longer against Envious, and against Reunited here, they proved themselves very much worthy. Dominant stuff.
Now, the trophy is lifted. We present to you the Overwatch Atlantic Showdown